Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome back to Jets Media. This is Richie, and today is Victory Sunday, baby. It's not Victory Monday because the game was on Saturday. So soak it in, Jets fans. The first day after a victory for these New York Jets, even though it's the preseason, I'm still happy to celebrate a victory, especially a dominating fashion, 27-0. In this video, I want to break down my biggest takeaways because there's a lot to unpack. And I did a live stream last night after the stream during the game of the post game, and we broke it down. But in this video, I took away 5 biggest takeaways that I really think is exciting, because this was the first game where I'm looking at it and I'm trying to find a negative and I can't find one. So that's really cool. There's a lot of things to be excited about. And I know, again, it's just preseason, but this is a good sign for these New York Jets because it tells us that they are learning from their mistakes after that, second half fallout against the Browns in that Hall of Fame game and eventually losing that game. The Jets go out there and dominate on all 3 phases of the ball for all 4 quarters. Woo, what a freaking job by these New York Jets last night. So before we get into the video, I do want to mention, though, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I got a lot of Jets content coming your way that I'm really excited about. And also, if you enjoy this video, do me a favor by simply hitting that like button and commenting your thoughts and your biggest takeaways from yesterday's game against the Carolina Panthers. With that being said, let's get right into business. So the first takeaway I have is coaching. This was a phenomenal day for the New York Jets coaching staff, from Robert Saleh to Nathaniel Hackett to Ulbrich to Brant Boyer. The entire coaching staff gets a star from me. Let's start off with Robert Saleh, because one thing I've noticed about Saleh and what his message has been really throughout this entire preseason, and it's been his message since he got here, but it feels more serious because we're finally seeing it come to fruition. That being him saying, playing the New York Jets style of football, their brand of football. And I think that that's what Robert Saleh's biggest message is with his preseason. Go out there and show the world our New York Jets way that we do things, how the Jets operate, because he's trying to establish a culture here. And listen, establishing a culture and establishing an identity doesn't happen in 1 year, doesn't happen in 2 years. It happens in 3 years. And we're in year number 3 with Robert Saleh. So this is we're finally seeing Saleh's vision when he got here. And we had to be patient with Saleh. It wasn't the best first 2 years. And I really think that his approach to making sure that these players, no matter what position they play at 110% effort, play with that all gas, no break mentality, go that extra mile, how can you dive deep into your brain to go that mental strain, to go a little deeper into your opponent to make sure that you can be that better player when you're in your one-on-ones, whether it's in the trenches or you're getting, you're lined up on the outside as a wide receiver. How can you beat your corner or your quarterback? All the little things matters. And I think that it was on full display because we saw this Jets football team from the starters all the way to the backups in the fourth quarter, all play excellent football. There was big hits in the fourth quarter. There was turnovers in the fourth quarters. There was touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Same with the first quarters. And I know that, these guys are fighting for their jobs and everything in terms of the people at the back end of the roster in the fourth quarter. But I was really impressed that Robert Saleh's message that we hear him say in the locker room all the time is play the Jets style of football. It was on full display, and that was freaking awesome to see, baby. Now, getting into Nathaniel Hackett, because he impressed me. We're really starting to learn his scheme a little bit more as a Jets fan, because we all know that this is his first year as the Jets offensive coordinator. And I noticed that his scheme is, very efficient. It's very simple. It's not complex. It's not take a lot of shots down the field. Don't worry, the Jets will do that with Rodgers. But one thing I noticed is establish a run game is Hackett's number 1 priority. And then go into the quick passes to the running backs and the tight ends. There was not one starting receiver that got a target, right? I'm pretty sure Zach Wilson's only completion to a wide receiver, was it Malik Taylor or was it Brownlee? I'm not even sure. But it was all the completions. Zach Wilson, who we'll get into next, was 14 for 20, I believe, and all those completions, majority was to running backs and tight ends. Slip it to Carter in the flat. Tight end over the middle for the sticks for the first down. The tight end slips out for the touchdown. The running backs and the tight ends are very heavily involved, and the Jets are very deep at both of those positions. Very impressive stuff. And of course, the biggest takeaway from Hackett, in my eyes, is the red zone. Last year, the New York Jets were one of the worst, if not the worst, red zone offenses in the NFL under Mike LaFleur. We would get to the red zone. We did a great job of moving the football, but then we get into the red zone and settle for 3 points every single time, it felt like. So it was really cool to see when the Jets got into that red zone, they scored touchdowns, and that comes with scheme. And it wasn't like Zach Wilson had to make some magic for it to happen. Zach Wilson just had a nice, beautiful play action, slip pass to a wide open Kenny Yeboah. That's Nathaniel Hackett. That's the Jets offense all clicking together on the same page. And that's a play that we've seen Aaron Rodgers do throughout his entire career. A little play action bootleg, let the tight end slip out for a wide open touchdown. It's the little things that matters. And not only that touchdown, all the other passing touchdowns, the 2 other ones from Tim Boyle, same exact type of thing. EJ Jenkins gets free for a touchdown. Zach Kuntz gets free for a touchdown. It seems like the Nathaniel Hackett ran offense is all about setting up the play action with the tight ends to slip out, getting the running backs involved, and it was really cool to see these wide open players in the end zone for these Jets offense, whether it's the first or second or third team, because that tells you that the scheme is on full display. So big time shout out to Nathaniel Hackett. He did a great job. So did Robert Saleh and Jeff Ulbrich and Brent Boyer, who we'll get into at the end of the video. Now, let's get into the second takeaway, which is definitely Zach Wilson. He's obviously a big talk of yesterday's game. I was very impressed with Zach Wilson. Didn't blow it away, didn't do anything flashy, and he didn't need to. Want to know why? Because he executed the game plan. Zach Wilson said it himself in the press conference after the game that Carolina Panthers play a lot of soft shell, and they like to give you a lot of things underneath. And that's exactly what Zach Wilson wanted to do. The Carolina Panthers are asking the Jets offense to do the dink and dunk route. And if they do that and you execute to a high level, you can move the chains and get down the football field and score touchdowns. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So Zach did not have to stretch the field and go down. I know people want to see Zach air it out. He didn't do anything flashy. He didn't have even an air yard throw past 10 yards. I get all that. But what I'm looking for Zach Wilson is, does he look confident? Can he go through his reads? Does he look poised? Is he able to be decisive? Is he able to be efficient? Is he able to execute game plans? That's what we need to see from Zach Wilson as a backup quarterback, because we know that he can do the flashy, cool stuff. We saw a flashy play the Hall of Fame game, great. But these are the things that I'm looking forward to the most of the progression for Zach Wilson in year number 3 behind Aaron Rodgers with the brand new coaching staff in Nathaniel Hackett. So overall, very impressed. And my favorite part about Zach Wilson's day yesterday was the 2-minute drill at the end of the first half, man. 5 for 5 was absolutely on another level in terms of orchestrating the offense, beautiful time management, not getting too rattled, looking at the clock, calling the timeout when you need to, a little quick snap when you need to, quick passes to the outside. I mean, he really executed a 2-minute drill to perfection to get that touchdown to Kenny Yeboah at the end of the half. So overall, man, very impressed with Zach Wilson. I think this is a positive step for him. I don't think it's anything flashy where Jets fans are going to start saying, wow, we actually have our franchise quarterback in 3 years. He still has a lot to prove, but overall, good step in the right direction for Zach. Now, my next takeaway, my third one, is definitely the run game. The run game was on really, really good, man. Starting with Michael Carter and Bam Knight to start it out, and the starting offensive line minus Elijah Vera Tucker. They had Billy Turner at left tackle, Tomlinson at left guard, McGovern at center, Schweitzer at right guard. AVT was down, and then right tackle was Max Mitchell, and they were looking pretty darn good in the run game. Michael Carter was getting open in space. I think he averaged over 5 yards per carry. Also had that beautiful run down the left sideline from a swing pass on 3rd and 2 from Zach Wilson. Michael Carter has a lot to prove, man, and Carter is here. People forgot how good Michael Carter truly is. I know he had a down year in year number 2. I get all that, but rookie Michael Carter was sensational. He would make the first guy miss. His balance, his elusiveness, his just ability to pick up an extra 3 to 5 yards after the first contact, that's what he is all about. He does not need to be a home run hitting 80-yard touchdown, 70-yard touchdown type of running back. That's what we got Breece Hall for, and Izzy. So Michael Carter looking really darn good. I'm excited to see what he can do in year number 3. Izzy Abanikanda, bro. What more can you say about Izzy? That almost touchdown run was unreal. I mean, he gets through into the second level on just a dive up the A-gap, and then he has the safety to beat, just plants his right foot in the ground, just spin moves back to the left, and then just starts dragging defenders and was almost in the end zone. I think the Jets might have got a gem in Izzy, because usually there's a lot of running backs around the NFL that gets drafted late into drafts, and there's gems. And I think the Jets are one of those teams that got one with Izzy out of Brooklyn. Woo! I'm excited, man. And then overall, the offensive line with the backup offensive line was really good. Mekhi Becton was moving people. Joe Tippmann was excellent in the run game. So overall, the offensive line and the overall running game was sensational. And another thing I had to bring up, and this goes back to the first takeaway, which was coaching. I forgot to mention it. It was the penalties. There was not any penalties. There's 2 penalties. That's it. That is ridiculous, especially when you put in consideration last week the penalties were all over the place. So the fact that the Jets were able to clean it up, this coaching staff was able to clean up the penalties, and the players were not getting, those self-inflicting wounds, positive signs. Now let's get into the defense. The fourth takeaway I have, man, our backup defense was destroying the starting offense for the Carolina Panthers. Whether it's Jermaine Johnson poised for a breakout year number 2, Will McDonald looks way better as a rookie than I ever expected him to do. Bryce Huff, that speed rusher off the edge. Even Quentin Jefferson, the new player we got from free agency. The defensive line. The defense goes as the defensive line goes. And the fact that our backup rotation was able to get to the quarterback that consistently against the starting Carolina Panthers offensive line tells you all you need to know about this defense, man. We didn't have Sauce out there, or DJ, or CJ Mosley, or Quinnen Williams, or our starting safeties, and we were still able to pitch a shutout throughout the entirety of the game. Really, really fun stuff. Big shout out to Brendan Eccles. He was clamping things down as well. Zaire Barnes, the rookie linebacker, was really, really fun to watch as well. Overall, man, this backup defense, it shows you that the offense is in year 1 with the scheme with Hackett, but the defense is in year 3 with the scheme with Saleh. They're way ahead of the curve. Saleh always said when he got here, year 3 is the magical year when you can get continuity, you can get players understanding things. When you don't have to think about it, you just react about it, and that's what we're seeing on full display from this defense. And then one of the next takeaway is special teams. Special teams was fantastic. Greg the Leg, perfect. Thomas Morstead, beautiful punt to pin him down at the 1-yard line. And also Xavier Gipson. He's looking pretty good as a punt returner. I know he had a muff punt last week, but he also had a good return last week. So Xavier Gipson, the undrafted free agent, he's definitely getting all those return reps due to, trying to figure out who the backup is behind Hardman and Randall Cobb. So Gibson looking good there. But Greg Zuerlein, what more can you say about Greg the Leg? He has not missed in the preseason. I don't think he's missed in training camp either. Now, my final takeaway is about the rookie draft class. Now, this rookie draft class is probably one of the most underwhelming in terms of hype that this fan base has had since I started covering the Jets on Jets Media. Usually, all the hype going into a season is the rookies. Whether it was Mekhi Becton and Denzel Mims that year, right? I know we're looking back on that draft class. It was a nightmare draft, but I'm talking about in that season, that's what we're excited about the most. The year after that, we're excited about Zach Wilson, AVT, Elijah Moore, Michael Carter. I know what we're talking about in terms of not everybody on that draft class is looking great. We shipped away Elijah Moore. That's not my point here. And then the next year's draft was the superstardom of the draft class, Sauce, Garrett. That's what we're all focusing on. This year, the team is so good that we're not even hyped up about this draft class. And that's okay, because we're hyped about Aaron Rodgers. We're still living on a high from last year's draft class. We're talking about DJ Reed from last year, Quinnen Williams, right? And then all of a sudden we get this draft class from the 2023 year. Will McDonald looking really freaking good early in preseason. He brings a different element, a different dynamic to the defensive line, has a freakishly athletic bend to him. The defense simply does not have a player like Will McDonald on that defensive line, and that's the beautiful thing about this D-line now is they're versatile and deep. Joe Tippmann, he's looking darn really good. I don't know if he's going to start week 1, but I definitely feel like he's going to make the coaching staff make a hard decision of him potentially starting, because that's back-to-back games with Joe Tippmann moving people in the run game and only gave up 1 pressure out of 30-something pass snaps. So Joe Tippmann, excellent stuff. Carter Warren, I don't think he's playing. I don't know if he's battling an injury, but rookie Carter Warren did not play. Izzy Abanikanda is proving to be a very good running back. I think that he is going to be a fan favorite this year when he gets his fair share of, touches. He almost had back-to-back touchdowns, but that one got called back. Zaire Barnes, the rookie linebacker who we got late in the draft, has been very impressive to me personally. He was probably one of my least favorite draft picks, and I'm wrong. I can completely say I'm wrong. He has been someone that shows me that he's a lot of upside. He had 2 big-time tackles. He kind of reminds me of Quan. He just brings that energy of just downhill, seize the ball, go get the ball, pop him in the mouth, get up, be energetic, and get excited. Zach Kuntz, he had a really cool play where they threw him the ball behind the line of scrimmage. He plants his foot in the ground, makes 2 guys miss, tries to hurdle somebody, and then he gets in the end zone at the end. Really cool stuff. Jason Brownlee, another guy who's an undrafted free agent who Jets fans are really hyped up about. he's kind of the hype train of Jason Brownlee's kind of take a back seat in my eyes. So that wide receiver 6 spot is probably going to be leaning more towards Malik Taylor, if you ask me. And then the undrafted free agent Trey Dean is making plays, his safety. Like, overall, the rookie class this year is very underrated, and I think that they have a chance. They're not going to be flashy. And I think Jets fans need to realize that last year's draft class, we can't get spoiled. We can't expect to have rookie of the years, stardoms, rookie of the weeks every week with these draft classes. This draft class is not going to be that. They're going to be solid players, a solid rotational piece of Will McDonald, who's going to make big-time plays, a solid center who could be our franchise center for the next decade, a solid running back to be put in the rotation, depth at linebacker, depth at tight end. That's the type of draft classes that good organizations do. They draft not by need, but by depth. That was my biggest takeaway from the Jets rookie class thus far. So that's my biggest takeaways from the entire game yesterday against the Carolina Panthers. The Jets rout them 27-0. Guys, please let me know your thoughts down below in the comments of your biggest takeaways from the Jets and the Panthers game yesterday. Here are my takeaways. Let me hear yours down below. Hit that like button if you guys enjoy. That's going to wrap up this video, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.